Hi everyone, it's Katie. Welcome to my channel, Quartz Records. Welcome back. I want to talk about this incredible release of Laura Nyro's Angel in the Dark that was released on Record Store Day, and it's so important to me that I wanted to give it its own video. Before I get into why it's important, if you like this video, if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It helps my channel. Now, if you don't know who Laura Nyro is, I'll explain that in a minute. I'm sure most of you do, but if you don't know who she is, I'll give you a really brief overview. But why this album is so important is it's the first time it's ever been released on vinyl, and it's a really important release. It was the final album that she did in her lifetime. It was released posthumously in 2001 on CD by Rounder Records, and this is the first time it's been released on vinyl, and it sounds absolutely beautiful. So the album itself, which I'll go through later, but just very quickly, it's on this beautiful matte card. James Batsford, who owns Newland Records, who does a jazz reissue label for the most part, he's all in on Laura Nyro, and I'll explain why in a minute, or what he's done in a minute. But all his albums are in this kind of what they call the what is it? It's like a reverse card or a reverse board sleeve, and so inside it's quite shiny. And then on the cover's very matte, and it's kind of their signature look. And the actual labels are all very similar as well. Polyline sleeve. Done in a kind of an old-fashioned way with the 33 RPM kind of on there, the Newland logo. A beautiful, beautiful pressing, 180 gram. And I'll just show you the hype sticker. So that's Laura Nyro, Angel in the Dark. You can see everything written there. Mastered at Air recording, pressed on 180 gram vinyl. And it comes with the inner kind of information, which has got words from those involved in the actual album: Scott Billington, Will Lee, Randy Brecker from the Brecker Brothers, and Bashiri Johnson, all of a lot of whom I think worked with her in the early days as well. And then on the other side, it's got all the different musicians from the different songs, which I'll go through in a minute. The only disappointing thing about this album, and I would have loved to have the lyrics on here. I don't know why they didn't do that. It would have been so easy to fit it on this sheet. So that was kind of disappointing. There are a few songs on here I would have loved to have read the lyrics of, but anyway, so Laura Nyro, obviously the absolute genius singer-songwriter from the late 60s, early 70s and 80s, died at the age of 49 in 1997. This album was recorded in the years 1994 and 1995 while she was undergoing chemotherapy treatment for her ovarian cancer, which she eventually lost her life to. And it was released after her death, and it was finished after her death, in fact, and they brought in the musicians to kind of finish it off. So in the late 60s, early 70s, the biography of Laura Nyro I actually covered in a video months and months and months ago, almost a year ago. So you can look that up. I'll link it in the description below, so I won't go through everything. And I have a confession to make about that video, and a massive apology. All the way through it, I mentioned Eli and the 13th Confession, which is her iconic second album, and the famous song, Eli's Coming. I kept on pronouncing it Ellie. I don't know why. I know her music. It was just one of those things, I think, because I was new in front of the camera, and the amount of comments I've had about it, so my apologies. Of course, I know it's Eli and the 13th Confession. So go have a look at that video and you can get a full kind of history of her. she was really influential of people, everyone from Paul Stanley from Kiss. Elton John has spoken extensively on her. Ricky Lee Jones, Pirates, Suzanne Vega, Todd Rundgren. So many people were influenced by Laura Nyro. Joni Mitchell has said she was probably one of the very few other artists that she was actually influenced by, even potentially competitive to. There are very few people who can come up to Joni Mitchell's level, and Laura Nyro was one. She had 3-octave voice. Her songwriting was impeccable, very jazzy. She changed chords and rhythm, time signatures all the way through the songs, and she was quite political. She's an absolute genius. I absolutely love her, and my intention is to complete my collection of her one day. I have a few originals. I have this incredible box set, which brings me back to James Batsford from the New Land label that reissued the album for Record Store Day. He was involved with Madfish's box set, American Dreamer. This is a 8 vinyl album compilation with all her main albums, plus an 8th album of rare recordings. Really incredible box set that came out in 2021 through Madfish. Absolutely brilliant. If you just want to kind of instantly get most of her albums, this is the way to do it. Beautifully presented in matte album sleeves, a beautiful, incredible booklet inside. And this, so probably more importantly, was the CD collection, also produced by James Batsford for Madfish as well. So he was the kind of the producer of the reissue collection. So American Dreamer, the vinyl box set, and this CD collection, which was released late last year in 2024. 19 CDs. It's almost like a comprehensive, full collection of every one of her recordings, including a stereo and mono version of Eli and the 13th Confession, which for collectors is amazing to hear. So I have that. I have purchased it. It's still arriving. I decided after I picked this up at Record Store Day, I just thought, you know what, I'm all in. I've got to have everything. So I've gone, and it's very expensive, but I've gone and purchased that as well. I just think James Batsford has done an incredible job. He obviously cares deeply about Laura Nyro's music. I have heard that there is more coming, so I think they'll probably be releasing more vinyl Laura Nyro in... I'm not sure what. This was a Record Store Day exclusive, so it will never come out like this again. Really, really worth picking up if you can. So her on the this actual album, this is a originals and covers album. So she does 8 of the tracks are covers, and she goes right back into that gorgeous R&B and soul history, including things like Will You Still Love Me, the great Carole King song, the old Deflonics hit La La Means I Love You, beautiful Everly Brothers song Let It Be Me, just beautiful. And then she mixes it up with Laura Nyro originals, and some of these songs are the best she ever wrote. And unfortunately, I think because it came out after her death, it was acclaimed at the time in 2001. In fact, Billboard, one of the journalists on Billboard named it the best album of 2001. But it's kind of since been forgotten and just kind of fallen into the history of music. There's a beautiful song called Gardenia Talk about spring, and you can absolutely swear it was a Joni Mitchell song. It is absolutely stunning. She does a song called Serious Playground, which is just at end side 1. It is absolutely a stunning example of perfect songwriting in my mind. Ooh Baby Baby, Embraceable You, some great covers. Walk On By. In fact, the Walk On By rendition on this album, Cyndi Lauper released a covers album in 2003. It was Grammy nominated, and she has said her version or her rendition of Walk On By on that album was influenced by this version. It's absolutely worth streaming if you can, and I would highly recommend trying to pick up the Record Store Day vinyl. It is really fantastic. So that I will just comment on the photographs actually. Dave Garr was a famous photographer who photographed everyone. Just look him up. And he photographed Laura Nyro on many occasions, which appeared on her albums, and they were able to find this at the time of release. They were able to work with him to find this series of shots, and this is what made the cover of the album and the back cover. Absolutely beautiful photographs. And if you look back at his photographs of Laura Nyro, there are some just absolutely stunning ones of her. You can still buy the prints actually, sort of limited edition runs of the photographs, which would be really lovely to have. So that's it for today. Pick this up if you can. Catch up on my other video of Laura Nyro. But honestly, this is such a great Record Store Day release. I urge, if you're into Laura Nyro, if you're into great music, pick this up. All right, I'll see you in the next video.